How you doing? I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Today I wanted to talk about um, just an email I got from a guy who was talking about he was still drinking, but he was saying that one of the reasons why he didn't stop drinking was, or he couldn't stop drinking, or he felt he couldn't stop drinking, was because that he linked so much his emotions with alcohol that he couldn't actually get in contact with his emotions without drinking alcohol. And this is something that affects many drug users, right? Many people who are searching for or who try and find solutions to their problems with alcohol. And it's something that affects people, a lot of people, when they first start out drinking. It's they're seeking something from alcohol that they can't find in their normal lives. For me, that was growing up. Impossible to find that in my normal life because I was 13, 14 years of age. So I wanted to feel at least like I was growing up, like I was turning into a man. So I drank for that, and other people drink for different reasons, for peer pressure, for whatever it is at that early age. But the problem with emotions and drinking are that over time your emotions start to become entwined with the alcohol or the drug, whichever drug you're using. You start to lose some of the emotions that you would normally get because they become so associated with drinking alcohol, and you can't find any of those emotions anymore unless you're drinking. And that's one of the biggest problems that people suffer from. Another side to this coin is when people use drugs to escape emotions or to repress emotions. They're feeling pain, they're feeling sorrow, they're feeling sadness, they're feeling depressed. They want to try and push those emotions down underneath conscious awareness so that they're not feeling them anymore. A lot of people want to escape from their normal reality. Drinking becomes a vicious circle. You drink to escape something, but that problem doesn't disappear. And in fact, the problem ever so slightly gets worse. So it comes back around in you again that the problem next time is a slightly worse, very slightly, but it's an accumulated thing. The more you do it, the more accumulation of this one single problem that you've got. And people tend to do this with a multitude of different problems. So they've got all these gradually growing problems underneath that they're trying to suppress. They've got all these problems that they're trying to hide away from. And the more problems that they've got, the more they're trying to hide away from them. Instead of saying, right, this is it. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not hiding away from my problems anymore. I'm going to stand up firm. I'm going to face my problems regardless of what they are. And I'm going to deal with them. And it's the same way as you won't deal with all your problems overnight just by quitting drinking alcohol. You won't probably deal with hardly anything just by quitting drinking alcohol, because you've got to face into these problems. You've got to look at the problems and say, right, well, how can I solve this, or how can I solve that, and just do it bit by bit by bit. And it's a gradual process, like anything else. You've got to build a habit of solving your problems and facing up to your problems head on, and getting into them that way, and dealing with your problems that way. But you're not going to advance in life unless you do. If you keep these problems hidden, you keep pretending that the problem doesn't exist, or you try and suppress the problem, then where's that going to lead you at the end of the day? I've spoken about this so many different times about my own personal need to suppress a lot of my unwanted emotions, to get rid of sadness, pain, sort of personal misery. And like, my life wasn't about that. It was, I think everyone's life is sort of a mixture of you've got this negative emotional side on one side, and then you've got the positive emotions on the other side, and you're trying to balance things out. But at the end of the day, as soon as you try and use a tool like this to suppress your emotions, then the other side of the coin is going to suffer as well, because it's there. The problems are still there underneath the surface. The problems are still there when you wake up the next day and you have to think about this the next day. You've got to go to work. You've got to do all these other things in your life to support yourself, to sustain your life. And while you're doing all this problem is there nagging at you on the periphery. And it might only be until you get home in the evening and you can unwind and relax. And that's what people mean by relaxation and de-stressing, is they forgetting about the problems that are accumulating in their lives. But I've also talked about that you become so entrenched in the alcohol drinking, in this culture of alcohol drinking, that you can no longer have fun. You can no longer feel happiness or joy, or you can no longer get a physical buzz in your life because until you're drinking, you can't find these emotions in yourself, because they become so inextricably linked to the alcohol. And then there's the other side, which is this double-sided coin of stimulation on one side and boredom on the other side. This is another area where people use alcohol to create stimulation or to avoid boredom. And at the end of the day, no matter what it is, negative emotions, positive emotions, negative emotions that you're forcing out of you, positive emotions that you're trying to attract, or you're trying to develop in yourself through drinking alcohol, whether you're trying to find stimulation or you're trying to avoid boredom. These are all things that once you stop drinking alcohol, you have to take face up to, right? You have to take full 100% responsibility for before you can do anything else. If you don't feel that you're responsible for any of this, or if you don't feel that you're responsible for any parts of this, you're fighting a losing battle. You've got to own up to it. You've got to face up to it first and foremost. It's not easy to do any of this stuff, in the sense that it takes a long time for you to develop new skills, but it's as I say, a bit by bit process. You've got to take these things bit by bit. And on the other side, it's very easy to go, well, I know a solution that I can do right now that's going to take me and give me some relief, and that's going back to the old behavior, whether that's taking alcohol or taking any other drug. It's an instant relief, but it's an instant relief with a lot of consequences, because you know at the end of the day now, once you head down this road, once you understand that alcohol is doing you no good, once you understand that alcohol is bringing you down into this negative spiral, that it's not solving any problems, that it's creating more problems in your life than the problems that you already have, you can never go back. You can never go back to not understanding that. So every time you drink, to get that instant gratification or that instant relief, you're giving yourself just a negative vibe. You feel guilty, you feel regret, you feel pain, and it's something that you've got to push through. It's something, this thing of heading back to alcohol just for that instant relief, is something that you've really got to try and get away from, and it is an emotional thing, but you've got to try and develop some emotional coping skills that in the beginning are just very, very, very simple, very basic stuff, like just avoiding getting up and doing something, saying affirmations to yourself over in your head. These are all very simple and very basic things, but they work in the moment, right? They're not sophisticated, they don't take a lot of thinking about, and that's the whole thing in the beginning, So look, your emotions are going to stabilize much more when you don't have this toxin in your body, from the perspective of you're physically capable of handling more shit, right? You're not adding to the pile of shit, your brain is much more clearer, and you can see problems much more clearer. You can deal with problems. Your ability to deal with problems becomes, the more you deal with them, the better skilled you become at doing it. And nobody can do this but you. So that's it. I'm going to leave it there. If you have any questions at all, leave them down in the comment section below. If you want to sign up for our Alcohol Mastery Starter Pack, which is just a few different video courses and books and bits and pieces to help you with your beginner's journey, you know, to help you get started, to help you into the right frame of mind to get started. Then just come on over to the website alcoholmastery.com, leave your name and email address, and that's all it takes. It's absolutely free. And until next time, I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Take care of yourself, keep the alcohol out of your mouth, stay safe, onwards and upwards. Take care, bye now.